He's not leaving. Michael Sam was the co-defensive player of the year at Missouri. He got drafted in the seventh round. I don't want to hear that. I mean, the NFL could say whatever they want to say. They could scream until the cows come home. I personally don't believe a single solitary soul that says, oh, excuse me, he's just not good enough. No. Don't tell me that Michael Sam can't be on a practice squad. Don't tell me that he can't be on somebody's bench, coming off the bench to rush the pass on a football. I don't believe it. This kid was too good at Missouri not to be drafted higher than the 7th round, and I believe my personal belief is that his sexual orientation, him being gay, has something to do with him not being on the NFL roster.
All right, Joey, your take on Stephen A's take of the Michael Sam's recent comments about there being gay players in the NFL.
Well, first, let me say this. I don't know why he's not on an NFL roster. I know that there recently was the veteran combine. Apparently, the scouts were not very impressed with his performance. They seemed to mention that, he apparently was out of shape. He slowed down a step. He hadn't taken his conditioning seriously. I'd like to think that we live in a world that looks beyond that. At this point in time, there are 37 states, Jordan, in the jurisdiction that allow gay marriage, and in addition to the District of Columbia. We know that the Supreme Court is weighing in on that issue in June, and they'll make an official declaration as to whether it's protected by the Constitution. So ultimately, I just want society to see people as people and judge people by who they are and, what kind of character they have and what kind of kindness they exhibit and what kind of warmth that they show. And so my hope is that if Michael Sam wants to play in the NFL and has the physical commitment to do it and the mental commitment to do it, he's given that opportunity. And I would certainly hope that he's not, precluded or otherwise prohibited from playing because of anything related to his sexual orientation. In terms of his comments that there's other people in the NFL that are gay, I mean, law of averages may suggest that he's right. I mean, perhaps, based upon just the number of people who are playing in the NFL, you might think that maybe there are others who are gay or who are not, but, who cares what your sexual orientation is? The NFL is a performance league. If you could perform, then you should play. And if you can't perform, then you should not, gay, straight, or what have you. So, I think society in general, Jordan, in conclusion, is at a crossroads. And I think ultimately that crossroads is, are we going to be on the right or wrong side of history? And I think the right side of history suggests that we evaluate and judge people based upon who they are as people and who they are as individuals and who they are as spirits, as opposed to who they love, who they don't love, or who they choose to be with. And so, we'll see moving forward what happens with Michael Sam and anybody else in the NFL who is gay, straight, or whatever. But when I turn on the TV on Sunday, I'm not caring who's gay, straight, or otherwise. I'm just looking for a great NFL football game. So that's
what is your analysis? What is your analysis of the ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith clearly making a bold statement that if he wasn't gay, he would be in the NFL? What is your personal take on that?
It's difficult to impute motives onto other people, and I've learned, not to judge other people, and I've learned not to, cast aspersions on other people. Ultimately, the NFL is driven by money, and I think that money is the thing that plays large. And the reason I mention money is because if you put the best quality product on that field, you're going to be a winning franchise. And winning franchise, they draw revenue. And so I have to believe that the NFL is looking at talent. And so I don't want to be naive in suggesting, that. But the NFL has overlooked a lot of things, in terms of off-field conduct, on-field conduct. And if you're good, you play. And if you're the best, you play. So the reality is if he was a talent that could, rush the passer and sack quarterbacks, I don't know that the NFL would care if he's a Martian. I think that they would allow him to be out on that field. And so, I would like to think that the reason he's perhaps not playing is because of what happened at the veteran combine, that he just was lacking in several regards. And I think that this was the evaluation of his talent or lack thereof was pretty uniform. There were a lot of NFL scouts who were there that said that they were very disappointed that he hadn't kept himself in shape and that he was lacking physically. So, again, I'd like to think that the world sees people for who they are, not who they love. And so ultimately, I think if he's good enough, he's going to play, whether he's gay, straight, from Mars, from Jupiter, or from anywhere else.
And in staying in with your theory, look at Michael Vick. Look what he did. Look what he pleaded guilty to, and ultimately came back 3 years after he did his sentence.
It's a great point, and I think therein lies the issue. I think the NFL is willing to take a risk of the backlash. If you are good enough and you are